Splitter pants, Holland, and a photo finish is how we left you from the Nürburgring last week. New season, new car, new attitude. We've left Germany, took a ride next door to the Netherlands for round 2 in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hello, I'm Sean Ambrose, and tonight I've brought my brother Johnny along to help me call the action from Circuit Zandvoort. Joe Peak has been kind enough to step over there in the director's chair. He'll be twisting and tweaking the dials for your iRacing experience this evening. We call him Amazing, but you can call him Dougie Beard on the cameras at the track. John, so cool to have you here with me calling a race. Race fans, listen, we'll try not to let our age-old sibling rivalry get in the way of bringing you all the action here this season. And speaking of action, oh brother, did we get it last week? This track, these cars, John, and we're talking about sibling rivalries. Mom liked me more. Anyway, what can you tell us about this place?
Okay, this place. Well, there have been other tracks that separated the men from the boys. This is the track that will separate the brave from the weak after the boys are gone. Pronounced Zandvoort, or if you're from Texas, Zandvoort, is the motorsports racetrack located in the dunes north of Zandvoort, Netherlands, near the North Sea. In between the sand dunes is a circuit 4.3 kilometers or 9,400 cubics in length, with 3 straights, the longest being 678 meters, with 14 challenging turns, including the famous Tarzan corner. And through the years, there has been plenty of entertainment down there. Tonight will be no exception. We will keep a close eye on turns 3, 9, and 13, as these corners will be instrumental for a great lap and heavy passing. With that, let's go on board and take a lap around this famed track in the GSRC Dallara F3.
All right, we've got John Ambrose in the GSRC Formula 3, so let's do a lap around Zandvoort. Coming down into Tarzan, this is easily going to be the best place to get a pass done. But because of that, most drivers will be defending aggressively so that you don't get the opportunity you need to overtake. Out of there, you'll want to line up the car to straighten out your entry into Gerlach. The crest and the lack of runoff means it's best to stay single file through here, despite the temptation to try and pass into Hugenholtz. This is essentially a mirrored version of Tarzan, except in this case, it's a steep climb uphill on the exit. Getting a good run up and over Hoens Ridge will be critical because of this long stretch on the throttle through Slotemacher. Then, Border is incredibly fast with its open radius and fairly steep banking. Getting the car tucked in down close to the apex will be all important or the car will wash out. After that is Masters. Nailing the exit here is tricky because the track stays slightly curved and understeering will suck you into the grass. Then there's Renault, which is the first in a pair of back and forth hairpins. It requires you to very quickly switch to the right side of the track to set up for Vodafone. A late apex will be very important in order to get a good exit onto the backstretch. This run down to Hans Ernst is pretty much the only other common place where overtakes happen. Stick to the left over the crest, spot your brake marker, and then get on the binders for this tight little chicane. Frequently, drivers will come in here too hot and slide into the gravel, but if you're too wide, it's also embarrassingly easy to tangle with your opponent. Then you've got a short break before Kumho. Use this banking as much to your advantage as you can and carry your momentum through the corner. You don't have to lift through Lyondike, so getting a good run can make or break your lap. Onto the front stretch, expect the draft to start to come into play, but hopefully, if you've kept it all together, you've now finished a lap around Zandvoort.
Pretty good lap there, John. Not bad work there. Listen, folks, race fans, the PRL Formula 3 Series is brought to you by Apex Button Box. This season, all drivers who competed at least 8 races this season, there's 10 of them, will be entered into a random drawing to receive a free button box. It's Apex Button Box's goal to be able to provide an affordable, reliable button box to those who do not have the time or materials to create their own. It's kind of hard, too. To find out how you can get your hands on one, check them out on Facebook. Real simple, facebook.com/Apex Button Box. Or you can just do a Google search. Type in Apex Button Box. Trust me, you'll find them. They've got a great product, and you need one. More buttons is good, trust me, especially when you're commentating or directing. But listen, we've got a championship to talk about, and I want to get to that. One race, and we've already got a championship battle on our hands. How can there possibly be a tie for the lead after only one round? Well, Padavani earned 35 points for winning round 1. Dave Holland earned 32 points for second, 1 point for the pole, 1 point for the fastest lap, 1 point for 3 incidents or less. And that's how you find the championship standings tied at the top with Eric Luke down there in third, Andres Espinosa in fourth currently, and Christian Gritzko there in fifth. So that photo finish last week really made things exciting and got this season off to a great start. Now let's look at the team standings and get those kicked off real quick here. Leadfoot Racing up top there with a good run by Holland and Gritzko. Puts them over Bay and Glitter Pants right now for Alpine Stars Geodesic. Apex Button Box Red is the only one on the board at the moment with File and Luke there in third. SRT Esport East, Espinoza and Steffi. And then Rincon V-Racers, Montini and, Montini. The Montini brothers from Argentina holding that down in fifth. Now, John, we've got many people tuning in for the first time, have no idea what we're doing here. Why don't you fill them in?
What are we doing? No. All right, so the race details tonight. This is the round 2 of 10. The PRL League is using the Dallara F3 car. The setups are open. Well, what does that mean? That means that each individual driver has the ability to make changes to their liking, to their specific needs. The fuel is 50%. Race distance, 45 minutes. Drivers are expected to do at least 1 pit stop. Incident cap, 20 incidents. After 20, you go into the virtual abyss.
All right. Well, hopefully no one disappears into the abyss this evening here in the Formula 3. Although, John, having driven around this track, certainly incidents pretty easy to pick up. Incidents or slowdowns? What are easier to pick up here?
Hands down incidents. I think, turn 1. First of all, turn 1, Tarzan corner, couldn't be named better. Okay. We're going to see overtaking there. You're going to see cars go too wide. Some can take it low, some can take it high. But if you're going to take it, you have to be precise, and you've got to be, just finessing that throttle to make it happen. Let's look for off-track incidents in the sand pits between 12 and 13. Turn 8, you want to actually hug that line low through the corner. And this will rocket you off into 9, but some people are going to take it wide. And if they take it wide, well, there goes the, we don't have safer barriers here. So it's in the guardrail.
Yeah, well, okay. So then incident cap at 20, that really could be a factor before the end of this race. And of course, this race brought to you on the iRacing Esports Network. Folks, if you haven't joined this community here and you're coming by for the first time, hit that subscribe button. It should be lit up telling you're not a subscriber. So subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. And you know what, GSRC really happy to be part of the network of broadcasters assembled here on IESN. And well, tonight we bring you all this action here from just off the North Sea in the Netherlands. And John, we haven't talked much about the weather, but that certainly could be a factor in tonight's race. Right now it's clear outside, only about 88 degrees on track, but how can that change here under what we can right now looking at clear conditions?
Well, I don't expect the track to change much, but here's the key thing, the wind. Right now we have 13 miles an hour. Actually, it just went up to 14 miles an hour. And you ask, okay, how's that going to be, affect these cars? Well, I tell you how it's going to affect. Going into, 5 and 6, going through those crests of 5, same thing going into 10. When you get up in the top and you hit that headwind or that tailwind, it's going to be a precision of either braking sooner or later dependent on that wind. So look for that wind to be a huge factor on these cars in that rear wing.
John, listen, we were watching Padavani in practice and we were not impressed. Not that I can stand in judgment over anybody when it comes to iRacing, but anyway, or racing in general. But Glitter Pants didn't look too good, didn't look too shiny during the early part of practice. Now we're into qualifying, and well, I asked you if he was sandbagging. what we looked at, what we saw, it certainly didn't look like sandbagging. It looked like he was really struggling, but that's a pretty solid time. His best one yet, obviously.
Yeah, we watched him earlier, and I think we were comparing him to Robbie Gordon during that practice session. But yeah, he's really picked up the pace. He's staying on the track. He's found that groove. And I tell you what, I noticed that last week for him. He started the race out decent, right? But at the end, in the middle, he kind of figured out he was overusing those brakes going into some of those corners, and I think he found that rhythm, and I think it's a testament tonight. He's found that rhythm, and so look for him to be strong now, Sean.
All right. Well, I didn't want to have my doubts about Padovani, so we'll see. Now, Overbay, who was the fastest in practice, still looking good. Obviously dialed in here at Zandvoort. Right now sitting second in qualifying. And, Overbay's been fast in just about anything he stepped into, but good to see him have the speed here tonight. Looking at what our Holland did last week, look up and down the board trying to find where he is, and John, I don't see him here this evening. Do you?
Sean, I don't see him either. I guess I need to move to a 50-inch monitor. I'm scrolling down here, and I don't see his name, which is odd, right? Especially the show that him and Padovani put on last week. You would expect him to be an upfront runner. So we still got a few minutes here left. Well, actually, a minute and 45 seconds in this qualifier. But we'll see what happens.
Malbren just went P2, knocking Overbay off the top there. He decided that was good enough. He pulls off. There's Kevin Santana. He's coming around, still sitting fourth. But Santana having a pretty good run here. Let's see as he gets out of Lyondike. Hey, I know those guys back there in the tunnel. Yeah, a little bit slow there for Santana. Now Johnny's going to have one more shot at it here, though. You think he tries to take advantage of it here? It looks like he is. He's going to stay on track.
Yeah, he is. I tell you, he looks really strong through one.
Take a look on board here real quick, John. See how he wheels this thing around.
Yeah, there he goes up through 5, going into 6. And this is a tricky corner right here, too. Do you downshift? Do you not downshift? When the tires get warm, you could hold it into 6th gear. But you're pushing about 2.5 G's, through that corner. So it's going to be tough. Here he comes into 9. And this is what we talked about at the top of the show, Sean. 9 and 3. You've got to get that corner right to get that top speed coming over this crest. And you got to find that visual acuity to make sure you know when to brake and downshift. And he seems to have found it. Now let's see what he does here through 12.
Acuity, that is a $20 award if I ever heard it. Looks like a pretty good turn there for him, John.
Yeah. Let's see what he's coming to the line here. Oh, and there it is.
Well, apparently it was worth staying out and worth following that. Wow. Santana lights it up. Not too shabby, and the flag, the checkered flag, has fallen on qualifying. So everybody out there now, you haven't made it across the line yet. You're done. But we've got a lot of cars, or a few cars, still making their way around. Here comes the 22 Spicer. Spicer gets his best lap there. Good job on him. Good enough for P18. Here's Montini, John. Oh, he bails.
Nope, yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Nothing drives a director crazy like bailing on that lap. But I'm seeing one. Is everybody? Yeah, John. I'll tell you what. Let's head to the grid. We got a lot of cars here tonight. Let's get them in. Jefferson Padavani, last week's winner, is going to be on the pole this evening. And boy, what a run to get there. Kevin Santana going to sit on the front row with him. Row 2, Jose Malvern. Third tonight next to Michael Overbay. Row 3 going to be Eric Luke and Francisco Montini. Row 4, his brother Federico starts in 7th. Christian Gritzko going to start alongside in 8th. Row 5, Jerome Bertoon next to Nicholas Delp in the number 58. He'll start 10th. Johnny?
Well, we're going to give it a whirl here. Forgive me if I butcher anyone's name, but so starting in 11th, we have Owen McLaughlin. In 12th, we have Takeshi Kita. In 13th, Andrew Wood. 14th, Daniel Zeggers. In the starting position, 15, Mike Richter. Aaron Webb will be starting 16th. Mark Files, 17th. Andy Spicer, 18th. Danny Duchesne, 19th. And David Cristelli, starting 20th, Sean.
Oh, that's yeoman's work, buddy. Good job there, man. 21st going to be Marco Oliveira next to Curlin Andrew. And then in row 12, it's going to be Lyndon Swaby and Paul Wildridge. Row 13, Joe Walker. Jay Steffi starting 26th tonight. Row 14, Phil Gilman starting 27th. David Abear on his outside in 28th. Row 15, Daniel Barnett. Charles Sumner going to start 30th. He gets out of the truck from last night and into the Formula 3 tonight. 2 more cars. Chris Richards, he'll start 31st. And Craig Holden going to start there in 32nd. 32 Formula 3s ready to rock and roll here at Circuit Zandvoort. Everybody on the grid, John, lined up, ready to go. We'll start to hear the roar of these Dallara F3s in just a moment. Any early predictions?
Well, if you're religious, if you're not religious, right now they're just taking deep breaths and trying to make sure that they get the whole shot that they need. But I tell you what, we need to keep the cameras glued to turn 1 on this first lap, because they've got to get single filed immediately exiting turn 1 if we're going to see a solid green run here through 3 and 6.
All right, here we go. I think just about everybody is checked in, waiting for the lights to go up here in the Netherlands. The Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series is underway. The tree lights up, the lights are green. We're mid-green and underway in Circuit Zandvoort, down to the first turn. Tarzan, here we come. Padavani gets out front and away quickly. Jose Malvern settles in there, but behind him, you've got the battle between Overbay. Santana trying to get it sorted out. Overbay's going to get through. Oh, and a car off just behind them. I think that was, it would have been Andrew Wood, Montini, Federico. We'll stick with the action up front and get back to that in a moment. They have done exactly what you said, John. They've started to go single file as they get through here.
Yeah, going through turn 1, you called it, Sean, Tarzan. There's no Jane to help you down there. So these guys have to learn to get single file.
Everybody getting through there. Montini trying to pick up Santana back there. Overbay getting the pass here on Malvern. They're off to a bit of a fight.
Yeah,
Overbay not wasting any time getting up, John.
Yeah, there's that run off of 9. You've got to get that exit correct off of 9. Here we go through the Audi S's. Got to hit those marks, downshift properly, finesse into that gas. Let's see if we have any takers go off in the 12 and 13 in the sand pit here.
Nope, no takers. They're going to scream across the start-finish line for the first time. Lap 1 in the books. I did see we had trouble. Craig Holden had trouble with his self-spin back there. He's got the car righted back under power. So we continue to watch the battle up front. Eric Luke coming in for an early pit stop.
Yeah, Sean, he was involved in that turn 3 incident on the first lap. So
okay,
he was the first car that kind of went airborne. So
yeah, seeing that.
I don't know what he can. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, these guys are listening. They're all single file now. I think right now, getting heat in these hand-cooked tires are important.
Danny Duchesne's whipped it around. Trouble for him early. Danny maybe a little bit too used to that GTE, but he gets the car back underway. I don't see any damage on the car. I don't think he made any contact, John.
Yeah, it looks like a good a good clean self spin there. So I'm sure he'll get back right up into the heat of things.
Why don't we look at the replay of that start real quick? Since things have settled down just a little bit, everybody's gone single file here. John, you see the pack all coming down into Tarzan here. Somebody get a little bit too bold here.
I think everyone made it through one. Everyone made it through one just fine. It's coming out of 2A and 2B into that hard left-hander. We saw they just pile up right there. Everyone's hard on the brakes. We've got seven, 8 cars involved in that. Let's take a ride on board with Luke here.
Yeah, Luke gets around and hard contact for him. Now he manages to get back on track after that, but damage suffered for Federico Montini, Gritzko, David Hebert, Mark File.
Yeah, and you saw Luke there in 2A. He went too wide, got that left rear tire down in the sand, and just spun out. And that's what you got to be careful. You can't go through too wide in Tarzan corner, but like we said at the top of the show, you've got to have precision and finesse.
Wilridge, who we just caught on screen there, having a spin of his own. It allows Chris Richards to get around, but Wilridge fighting back, comes back hard here. He's not going to not just let Richards run away with this. In fact, he's closing. Pretty good run there. He seemed to gather the car back up pretty quick. Good job by Wilridge, saving it. And that's 3 cars that maybe had a little bit of trouble as Duchesne is at the back of that pack there with them. And now we'll go up to P8. McLaughlin here looking to get this position. No, Ziegert's going to get it from McLaughlin.
Well, let's watch him go into 3 here, Sean. This is where we talked about earlier. You've got to be on point to rotate that car and get on the gas early to get that launch through 4, 5, and 6. Let's see if he can do it.
Well, Zieger's one of our bigger movers in the race already, and picked up 6 spots. So forward seems to be the direction he likes moving in right now. McLaughlin already starting to fall off just a bit, John. Yeah, in fact, I see Zieger's focused here on Kita and Delp in front of him. Got a pretty good little battle going themselves.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to regroup here or just maybe kind of follow in Zieger's footsteps and see what he's doing.
All right, so let's jump back up to the front pack here real quick, because there's still 5 deep up front. The battle for second, third, pretty good. Overbay seems to have kind of come back to the pack just a bit. Jose Malbrin still really looking strong here in the early stages of this race, but it's Padovani. He is was our pole sitter, is still up there. In fact, now got it open to just a little bit of a gap there on Overbay, but the front 5 right now are strong and have gapped themselves. Well, John, it looks about 5.5 seconds, almost 6 seconds back to Delp in that next pack.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we can keep the camera on these guys, let's watch them go into turn 8, Sean. We talked about this earlier. Turn 8, this corner is actually deceiving. You want the car to be down low through that corner. There's actually more banking down low, so you can rocket off the corner. Some of these guys right here, well, they all seem to follow the same line, so maybe that's why they're pulling out ahead of the rest of the field here.
Well, early days still in this race. I mean, we still have an eternity to go, 38 minutes, but there is one pit stop that's going to have to happen. Maybe a better plan to just stay in line right now. If you can stay with the group, hang with the group until it's time to make those pit stops. Maybe this this race turns out to be in one that is decided in the pit lane.
That's a great point. I think that would be a smart strategy, especially after last week's race at the Nürburgring. Like you said, we can throw a blanket over these top 5 here, and they're continuing to pull away by 2 or 3 tenths a lap. So you've got the 4th place guy there kind of pushing the issue, but for the most part, they're staying single file, and that's what you want right now to get away.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go back to P10. We've got some action back here. Well, Mike Richter just pulled off. Now, he's got nothing left on the front end of that car. He's lost the whole front clip, so something obviously happened with Richter. But the battle we were talking about was Spicer and Swaby were going at it. Oh, and here's the incident. Here we go. We've actually found what happened to Mike Richter. On your screen, the Texas driver having trouble here in the Netherlands. First time I'm seeing this with all of you folks. But Richter obviously makes a small mistake. He's all by himself on track. And there you go. John, I think you took it a little too deep, huh?
Yeah, coming out of Ari Lyndike corner there. That's just a part of the track. It's so fast, so much force on the left side of that car, and I think he just thought he could get the grip up in that middle groove, and it's not there right now. Unfortunate for him.
And Santana just made a great move to get around Malbrin. And Malbrin actually takes it a little bit wide, got the car over the curbs and into the dirt just a bit. It allows Santana to make the move. Now puts himself up to P3, and we do have a replay of that. Joe on the money gets it.
But here we go down in turn 1.
Oh, this is yeah, no, I'm sorry. The pass happened. The pass happened actually back in turn 12, back in Kumo. My bad, we set that up a little bit late. We'll try it again here. There we go. Johnny just, like I said, I think he just got in a little bit too deep here.
Oh, there's that sand trap we talked about, Sean. He's in the golfer's nest there.
Probably ran into Carl Spackler down there somewhere. All right, so up
looks
front,
good on you.
Up front, we're still keeping it close. In fact, so they're getting ready to catch traffic here. You can believe it. Turning some monster laps. The leaders have already started to catch the back of the pack. We've spread out all over Circuit Zandvoort, John. Oh, and somebody's had an incident back there. I think it was Chris Richards. Yeah, Richards is around. He's got traffic coming through. He's got to watch himself.
Well, he collects it. He's back on the track here.
Compelling battle here in 11th. Webb, after getting around Swaby, still not gotten rid of him. Swaby's still sitting in his back pocket here. Not that far from Spicer. Spicer's just up in front of him. So actually a pretty decent little 3-car battle here for P10. Good to see Swaby fighting back. And Swaby, one of our really big movers in the race. In fact, he's up 11 spots. So Swaby has done well to move up through the back of the pack and keep the car in one piece at this point, John.
Yeah, let's take a look at Joe Walker, the 13. He is up 12 spots right now currently. Impressive run. Now, granted, he got through that incident, the first lap on turn 3, but Joe's keeping to himself, picking them off one by one here. And I tell you what, that's great. That's great concentration he has right now through these corners. He's got the track to himself, and really that's what you want in these races, right? You want to race like you practiced. And we were always taught, and we always told our drivers, practice like you race and race like you practice. And I think this is a testament to that exactly.
Well, good stuff from Walker. We'll continue to watch his progress, but man, up front, Santana really just right now doing everything he can to keep Melbourne out of his mirror, and Melbourne pushing hard all of a sudden. Now he's decided to get up in the saddle here a bit.
I tell you what, Sean, look at Santana's last lap. The guy is just on fire right
Lighten
now.
it up.
Oh, we got a car. Yeah. We have a
Was
lap
that Luke?
car
Yeah,
there.
that was Luke.
I tell you what, you're out front like this, you don't want to see that, because that can mentally mess you up for at least a lap and a half. I tell you what, look at Santana here. He is all over the back of Overbay.
Yeah, I think for the first time in this race, Overbay feeling real pressure here. You know what, though? Padovani has not pulled away from these guys. They are still really, really close. So they've got to race hard. They've got to be really competitive, but they can't destroy their cars so they have any chance of catching Padovani here. And certainly they don't want to use up their equipment. Overbay overdriving that one just a bit there, John.
Yeah, and you know, Padovani right now, he's looking in the rearview mirror and he's saying, you guys keep going at it. And it's given him the ability and the chance to kind of save his equipment, as you talked about, Sean. And that's going to be key here, because it could be a strategy move to just take on fuel. These hand-cooked tires, you know, we talked about it a little bit on the GSRC lap guide, but these tires have a really hard carcass as far as the surface area, but the sidewall is extremely soft and it changes the spring rate on these things. So if Padovani could save those tires, we may see something different in a pit stop strategy.
And another thing we just picked up was Santana on that front stretch was hitting the limiter. So these cars are, you talk about being on a knife's edge, and they're on the edge of performance as well coming down that front straight.
Yeah, I think, you know, iRacing today released a new setup package for this car. Now, granted, this league is using an open setup, so they have the ability to change, you know, lower and higher those gears for themselves, but they didn't have much single file practicing as they're doing now in the race, and so maybe some of these guys didn't elect to lower the teeth on that final gear. That could be, you know, something that we see affect some of these drivers here at the end.
When Santana still giving no quarter here, he's really, really pressing hard. We've already seen a couple times here on track. It's so easy to overdrive this one. So Santana's aggressiveness makes me a little bit nervous. Again, since we still have so much time, we just ticked under 30 to go. So I would definitely say your pit stop window here at this point open. I don't know, overcut.
Oh,
undercut.
he locks it up. That right front, he locked it up big time going into 8. Yeah, Santana's got to be careful here. I know he wants the position, but Sean, you know, this is where, like you said earlier, you could be smart. And we saw some guys last week get jumps in the pit road. So if he can just kind of stay cool, keep his rhythm, keep his equipment, he may be one of these drivers that can pull off a 1 or 2 position on pit road.
And just real quickly, an update on drivers who've had trouble this evening. We had a lot of attrition here early in the first 15 minutes of this race. Luke has decided to park the car, so out of this race, Luke, Richter, Andrew, Federico Montini, David Hebert, Christian Gritzko, and Mark Feil. Holden still hanging on back there, lap down now, but 25 cars still on track, and the battle up front amongst the top 5 is really where most of the action has been here in the first 15 minutes of this race. What do you got, John?
Let's take a look at Takeshi here. Director is pointing him out. I want to see what he's got going on here on the track. He's up 5 positions right now in 7th spot.
Yeah, and you know what? He looked great in practice. We noted his top 10 performance in practice. So Takeshi a bit dialed in here, and he is all over the gearbox of Nick Delt.
Yeah, he must have had a terrible turn 3 because Kita was just all over him like, well, we won't go there, but here he is going into 8. Let's see if Takeshi can get a good run off of 9. If he can, he may be able to get him in coming over the crest into the braking zone. It doesn't look like it. But as a driver, Delp's got to be going, okay, I got a guy breathing down my neck right now. So Delp has to be careful not to make any mistakes in his shifting, especially going through turn 12 here.
Yeah, and then you got Daniel Zegers just back there in the background. He is looking to maybe take advantage of their mistakes as they come across back to the start-finish line. Zegers actually on the last lap was faster than both of them. He doesn't pick any up.
Here we go. On the outside, we said you could do this, but you've got to be careful. He's doing the undercut, going through 2A, coming into 2B. Let's see what happens here in 3 if we can keep the camera on him. Go wide, tuck it in, kind of finesse back on that throttle. Looks like Delp got a good run off that corner there.
He did. He drove it perfectly, and he needed to do that because Kita was on the way, man, and almost had that pass figured out. I have a feeling that pass could still very well happen. Kita is still just on the hammer here.
Real quick, I want to go back and talk about Luke. I give him credit. He had an excellent qualifying effort. Just sad that incident there on the first lap, kind of tarnished his day. So hopefully he'll come back and show another strong showing.
It's still Delp. Takeshi Kita. I'm not going to give him a nickname. He doesn't need one. He throws it in there, John, but comes up short, wraps it over the curbs, and then loses all that time.
Yeah, not only loses that time, but you saw the four-wheel lockup. All right, looks like we have Santana in on pit lane.
Oh, yes, we do.
Padavani.
Yep. The time is now. They come in together, nose to tail, onto the pit lane. Padavani, of course,
look
in
at that.
number 1
Fuel
box.
only. Fuel only for these guys.
Ooh.
Great call.
Santana really struggled coming out. Did you see that, John? He was spinning tires all over the place.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Let's get a replay.
Imagine.
I think, yeah, we got a replay of it here, John. Watch this.
Well, we talked about it earlier. You can make up some spots in the pits, but as we see, you could also lose time.
Boy, right over the line. He just, it looked like he got on the hammer a little bit too quick, and he saves it. Does a great job. A nice save there, getting back underway. But, he lost, over a second and a half to Padavani now.
Yeah. And luckily those tires were hot. If he had taken tires, I don't know that he would have saved that car.
So it looks like the play. Maybe not many are going to settle for tires here based on how quick that stop was.
Yeah, and I think that's really a good call. The track surface, not that hot. 84 degrees, right? So I think that's the right call.
All right, our leader, Michael Overbay, coming up on some traffic, and he's in the wall. Oh no, Daniel Barnett did not plan on doing it that way. Oh man. Well, they tell you to drive your line, don't they, John? Oh no!
They tell you to drive it.
Jefferson Padavani has had a problem. Glitter Pants has spun it.
Let's take a look at this, Sean.
Spins it by himself, John. Just loses it. He's going to come down into Tarzan. You're going to see it here. This is his first full lap coming out of that pit stop.
Oh, yeah. See that banking on Tarzan right there? He was up way too high, and I'm sure he got in the gas too soon. He knew it immediately when he went in that corner. He was too high. But excellent job of recovering. It's going to be interesting. I mean, he's back in 9th now. He's got, he's got 30 seconds behind the leader, but I don't know that Overbay has pitted yet.
He hasn't. Overbay has not been in yet, and the bogey time for Padovani in that pit stop was about 22.7 seconds, and that's 30-second gap to Overbay. It's really, really going to be close. Padovani's going to need to put in some solid laps here to put himself in position to maybe fight for the win in this race.
Yeah, and look at Montini. Here's another driver that hasn't pitted yet. I mean, right now, I think these guys have the right call. They're out there on the same tires as Padovani, but yet they're on less fuel. Less fuel meaning less weight. Less weight meaning the car can rotate better. So I think this is huge right here. Let's take a look at the lap times compared to Padovani. Obviously, Padovani coming off that spin and recovery. We'll wait till the next time by. But Overbay, Malbram, Montini. Hey, Takeshi up to fourth, Sean.
He's managed to hang on that familiar red, white, and blue car. And here is the lap comparison there between Federico Montini and Jefferson Padovani. John, obviously you see the spin there, lap 15, and what it cost.
Yeah, that's mentally he's got to be beating himself up right now. The only thing he can do is just put that back in the memory banks and get back in that rhythm that he had. Santana, I haven't seen him. I haven't looked at him. I wonder where he's at.
Santana right now back in P8.
Oh, Santana's in a cluster of cars that got together there right through the Audi S's going into 11.
Guess we picked the right time to get on to Kevin.
Yeah, Sean, I think I've got the Sean Ambrose jinx. You know, I talk about a driver and we go to him and bam.
Yeah, that's not
literally
the Sean Ambrose jinx. It's the commentator's curse, sir. It's
I'm
not named after me, regardless of what some people may think. Look at this battle on screen, though. We fight. We've been asking for one. We finally got it.
Oh, Santana's just he's boiling. Oh, he's got the inside. He's got that run off of 3. He's clear and set to sail. Padovani is right behind him, though.
I don't think Owen wanted any of that. I think Owen realized. We got a replay of it. Here we go. That's the replay of the incident.
Oh man, that's like coming home late, Sean, and mom just chewed you out. You just know it's going to be bad.
We'll get one more angle of it while I think of all the times that actually happened. More than I can count, but
wow.
Really, that could have ended the race for all 3 of them right there. Back live, and Santana in control. Glitter Pants filling up the mirror, though. So all that time he lost, gained back. And these two, they kind of hold the key to victory here, but you got 5 cars in front of them that think otherwise, as Michael Overbay still continues to lead. Jose Malbran and Francisco Montini all still looking for that first pit stop.
Yeah, and they've got to be coming here in the next 2 laps. They're stretching it right now. So let's look for Overbay and actually, the top 5 here to come in and top off. You mentioned Glitter Pants. Obviously, I'm new to this. And a special thanks to the GSRC guys for letting me be here with my brother, my older brother, much older brother, real old brother. But you mentioned Glitter Pants. Obviously, I don't have the history here, and I'd love to find out why a driver has that name. I've had a lot of nicknames in life, but Glitter Pants, that's unique. I mean, that's sort of like your members only nickname that you had, Sean, back in the 80s.
Okay, that's enough out of you. All right, I saw a couple more cars come into the pit back there, but our leader's still right now trying to figure this out. Getting through traffic, it's a scramble. Be careful.
I tell you what, these guys are catching traffic at a bad time. Turn 3. That is, any place on this track, that is one place you don't want to catch up to traffic.
Yeah, literally the tightest hairpin on the track. It's obviously the slowest corner, and meeting together there, not good. Oh, somebody's around. I'm trying to see who it is. It's the number 96, Phil Guillaume with trouble. Yeah, and he's sitting, letting a bunch of traffic come by.
Let's turn 8.
Got a replay of it here. Let's see what happened to Phil.
He's already out there in the
Yeah.
grass.
And then he had to wait because there was so much traffic. He gets turned around in a really bad spot here. You're about to see.
Here he comes through 6, coming into turn 7, 8. This is where you want to stay low, but he was just way too wide. Downshifts it, breaks it into the grass, and spins. Luckily, there was no one behind him, Sean.
And broke the wing, too. You saw that wing kind of wrinkle up there a little bit on him. And Phil going to stay out on track as we get back live. Phil's already had a couple stops. Francisco Montini going to be the first one to peel in, John.
Yeah, he's there. Yep, fuel only. Good exit.
It was Keita that just screamed by him. That's going to throw Montini out into P4. He now leads all the cars that have pit.
Yeah, we got McLaughlin coming in and entering pit lane.
McDelp's in, McLaughlin, Lyndon Swaby. I saw Charles Sumner come in. He's been in for a while.
Yeah, again,
Sumner,
Sean,
I think, opted to go for tires.
we've got to see these top 3 come in the pits either this lap or no later than the next lap.
Looking to Overbay here as he holds this lead over Malbrin, now just over a second. I think John, I like the chances of him pitting here. He sees everybody else behind him has, and I don't know how much faster he can be at this point. He's going to do exactly that and pull on in. Malbrin going to follow him.
Yeah, you've got to pit here. You're catching up to the slower cars. You're losing literally a second and a half on a lap to drivers like Padovani and Santana. You've got to come in, get the lickings and get right back out. Looks like they're taking fuel only, and he's back out.
Overbay's out first. Malbrin going to be right behind him. Keita just now getting to the entrance of pit lane. Where's Santana? Passing Keita, so does Padovani. As we see the battle on screen between Malbrin and Montini. Montini getting to this thing quick out of the pits.
Yeah, look at Padovani. He's only 9 seconds behind our leader right now. Remember, he spun about 6 laps ago, so he's a man on a mission right now.
Yeah, Jefferson's got to get through Kevin Santana first here. Santana, who's had just a really, really good race after losing the 3 positions early, he has recovered well to hold on to a top 5 right now.
Yeah, Padovani's loving this because he's got Santana in front of him. He knows Santana's a fast car. The best thing he can do is just follow him, learn his mistakes, and then make the move when it's an open track and there's no flat cars in front.
Well, they got a little over 5 seconds to Montini to catch him, so we'll see how that goes. Looks like the last of our cars in the pits now. Danny Duchesne making his way out. I think that's everybody. In fact, it is.
Yeah, we had Paul Wildridge come in and exit.
Uh-oh! Santana with big trouble.
Wow, I took my eyes off the screen for 1 second. I don't know what happened there.
I think he took his eyes off the screen there, John, as we go on board with him here.
Look at our great director. He's already got it spooled up.
Just got out wide in the grass.
I tell you what, that could have been a lot worse. We saw that about 10 laps ago with, I can't think of the driver, but it didn't end well for him, but he was fortunate there.
Boy, Jefferson Padovani did not need any help, and he gets it there and doesn't waste any time. in dusting Kevin Santana here at the moment, as he's already got to work on Montini, Francisco Montini. He's got that gap down to under 5 seconds already, John. And that gap that you talked about, the 9 seconds to Overbay, that's come down to 8.5 seconds. So already Glitter Pants on this charge to the end with just over 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, Montini, though, I mean, let's give a shout out to him. He's turned the fastest lap. 1:27.17. That's pretty good. We have Padovani, who just turned a 27.666. So Padovani's got to turn the wick up, and I'm sure he has. I don't need to tell him that. But we still have Overbay out front, just at a nice cruising speed here.
Yeah, cruising. Definitely cruising at the moment. You don't want to cruise too much. There's still enough time in this race, I think, where he's got to be concerned about the pace of Jefferson Padovani back there. And we'll see. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But back a little bit further in the field right now. Let's go to P16. If we could look at that for just a moment. Oliveira is trying to hold off Danny Duchesne, who's had struggled just a bit this evening. But Duchesne, fresh out of his box, he went all the way to the end of the fuel window, and right now seems to have the upper hand on Marco Oliveira. So we'll see if maybe he can pull off a pass here.
Yeah, and here's an interesting thing, Sean, is it looks like Danny Duchesne took on tires on that pit stop, whereas the front runners, at least the top 7 or 8, only took fuel only. So I don't know if it's the right strategy, but let's see if it works for Danny.
Well, I tell you what, I thought that would close up a little bit quicker. It didn't, and I don't think the front stretch is going to make a difference, honestly. They both got tires on their last pit stop. They're only different about 3 laps, and I just don't think that's enough to make a difference for Duchesne. So let's head back up front as Malbrin and Montini just come across the line. And Malbrin now is looking in the mirror, and he sees Francisco Montini, and that car start to get a little bit bigger, John. It's down to under a second.
Yeah, and there's his teammate back there, Padovani, Mr. Jingle. Oh, and he spins it in turn 3. Padovani loses it going into 3.
Santana gets it back.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, this is definitely the Sean Ambrose jinx.
Quick call, get that. Now we'll get a look. Now we'll get a look from Kevin's point of view. Go on board with Kevin Santana here.
Yeah, look at Santana. He's, he's upset. Oh, he's upset from that spin coming out of Lion Dyke corner there on 13. But I think he just redeemed himself and obviously that position.
Well, I will say hope of Jefferson Padovani winning this race is slipping away. Boy, but that's great news for Michael Overbay because he continues to just hammer it. He's now 2 seconds up on Jose Malbrin, and you know what? I don't think you're going to get many complaints from all the Overbay fans out there.
Yeah, I'm still really impressed with this Takeshi Kita. He's got 0 incidents, Sean. Solidly in P6 right now. Really good run for him, especially after the run he had last week.
Right. He struggled mightily last week. And, Takeshi, it's probably been a hot minute since he's had a great run in any of the Precision Racing League series. A solid driver, been around forever. Certainly been in several series that we've called here on the Global SimRacing Channel. But tonight, I got to tell you, I'm personally a little happy to see him having this great run. I almost feel bad and probably shouldn't talk about it much more.
Yeah, let's drop it.
Yeah, let's drop it. Okay. All right, we got a replay on Walker. He's had trouble. And here we go. There he is on track, spun around. And John, I think just maybe back to the throttle a little bit too quick for him. It got him around, but got very, very lucky. Kept it out of the Armco barrier. The only problem was he had to let a bunch of cars go by before he could get the ship righted and back in the right direction. Ooh, Padavani making a move here over Santana. Yep. Did they make contact, John?
Well,
we're going to get a replay. Let's look at it. I think they made contact. On board with Padavani here. Chasing Santana.
Turn 6 going into... no. This is a straightaway here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's contact. That's contact. A good shout out, though, to Apex Button Box in that camera angle.
Of course, the official sponsor of the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series here on the iRacing Esports Network. This one, John, I was talking about still a lot of time left in this race. All of a sudden, it's got away from us. It's under 7 minutes to go. Maybe only about 5 laps left for our leaders. But they've all spread out up front now.
Yeah, this is, I tell you what, I don't mean to keep harping on the same 2 drivers, but Padavani and Santana have put on a show for us tonight. It's like the ice capades. One spins, the other one goes by. The next one spins, and it's just same song, different verse. You remember the ice capades, don't you, Sean?
I remember going to the ice capades at Madison Square Garden as a kid. Yes, with you, Johnny. So, in the Vega station wagon. Look it up, folks. 1976 Vega station wagon. Hell of a car. All right, back to the Dallara Formula 3.
Well, I don't know if Padavani, though, keeps his nickname Glitter Pants. It may be something else in those pants right now.
You've even got a little information on that. Glitter Pants is actually an evolution of a nickname that started with him. I think Eric Luke was responsible for it. So Luke still, not having the last laugh tonight, but certainly hung him with a great nickname. Let's run down the top 5 here for you real quick with only 5 minutes left. So 5 on 5 here. Michael Overbay, your leader, obviously been really in command of this. But I will say this, the second place car right now, Jose Malbrin, what an awesome race from him. And honestly, he's got it down to just over a second. So Malbrin not too far from the fight. You go a little bit further back to Francisco Montini, who's had just a whale of a race tonight. And then we go to, our friend Glitter Pants. Back down there in P4. Still got Kevin Santana in the mirror back there in P5, but he's got a long way to go to catch Francisco Montini, now still over 8 seconds with only 4.5 minutes left. John, who do we have in the next 5?
Well, we have our boy, Takeshi Kita, running in 6. I tell you what, again, he has had a solid night. No incidents, keeping that car consistent. Behind him, about 20 seconds back, we have Nicholas Delp. He's up 3 spots. Again, another driver who's had no incidents. Great run for him. In 8th, we have Owen McLaughlin. He's about 45 seconds behind the leaders. He's had a clean race. Another driver, 0 incidents. And then in 9th, we have Lyndon Swaby. Sorry, Lyndon. I'll mess it up next time, too. He's up 14 spots in the 100. The Canadian driver. There we go. I'll get to talk. And rounding out the top 10, we have Daniel Zeggers, up 4 positions, the Midwest driver.
All right, John, we need to go to the front because something's happening here. 3.5 minutes left to go. They come across the line, and Overbay is now only 3/4 of a second ahead of Jose Malbrin. Malbrin definitely had the faster time on that last lap by about 1/2 second. Certainly the draft playing a little bit of a factor in that, but overall it seems like Malbrin is up on top of the wheel right now. Elbows out, Johnny.
Yeah, he's Johnny. Oh, the good one there. You got to use it. Yeah, he could be one of these sleepers, Sean, that, actually just stayed back there, minding his own business, saving his tires, saving the brakes. And now he's using the lap traffic as a pick. Oh, look at here, going into 8. He pulled up hard. Good exit off of 8. This could be a battle, Sean, where we have just right at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I think we'll get about another lap, maybe 2, coming across the line here.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think we've ever seen Jose Malbrin win a race on the Global SimRacing Channel.
Oh,
tonight he's digging for it. Look at this.
What a great turn through the IDSs. He is on the back of Overbay right now. Overbay, yeah, he hit the sand trap.
He didn't take a wedge with him either. Jeez. All right, John, I don't know. Gave Overbay another chance there, and 2 minutes to go. This could be 2 laps to go. We'll probably get the white flag this next time around. Melbourne's going to have to push.
Look at that. He pulled up on turn 3 again. I think Overbay has just used up his stuff. We talked about him early. He was out front. He was running his own race. But this may be a case where you had a sleeper in Jose, and he's there. He made a mistake the last lap. He cannot do that again if he's got any shot to take over Overbay.
So we'll call it Sleeper Cell Malbrin this evening. He's still got a shot at this thing. Lyndon, we're going to stay on this, but Lyndon Swaby had a problem back there, and he's still running. He's still on track. But just too hard to leave this battle right now.
Sean, watch how he gets into 10, the IDSs. This is incredible. Look at that close-up rate. He's all over the back of him.
Yeah, and getting a face full of what Overbay is leaving behind.
He was a little cautious through that corner, but obviously that's to be expected. He had a mistake there last time by.
Coming to the white flag with 40 seconds to go. Michael Overbay still your leader. Can he hang on from the charge of Jose Malbrin here on the last lap?
Watch turn 3, Sean. This is where Jose has been strong.
Might be his last shot, John. Overbay dialed it in that time. That was a nice run through there, John.
Yeah, it was. Turn 6 will be another good spot. We'll see if Jose can catch back up on the tail end of him. And then we go into that sharp right-hander in turn 8. Jose's been strong there. Overbay is doing an excellent job staying out front.
Yeah, this lap, he knew he had to be perfect. So far, so good. So halfway around. Down in the Vodafone here.
We come out of 9, both on the gas hard, getting great exits. Coming up over that crest, going into 10 in the IDSs. Let's see if Jose can outbrake him again. Oh, he throws it in there.
For the win, Michael Overbay has got to hold off Jose Malbrin. They've only got 2 quarters to decide it. Now in Akumo, on to Ari Landijk.
Overbay made a mistake. Here he comes. Here comes Melbrin. Jose's got the draft. He's on the outside. Here they come to the line.
And it's going to be Michael Overbay there at the line. Jose Malbrin going to have to settle for second. Francisco Montini going to roll across in third. Jefferson Padovani going to survive and come home in fourth. And Kevin Santana going to take the 5th place run. John, we had another photo finish this week in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series. Wow.
I tell you what.
Battle for 7th here. Delp trying to hold off McLaughlin. One of the last few battles left on track. Delp hanging on. Oh, gets a little squirrely out. He just tries to get the arrow off, and McLaughlin's going to come around. It's not enough. John, we're going to get the replay here. Overbay.
I don't know if I can live that again. Here they come out of the Audi S's. You can tell right here, Overbay is watching in that rearview mirror. Coming out of 12, though, he makes a slight mistake, and here comes Jose. There he is, right there on the back. He's got the slipstream. Coming out of R.A. Lyndike corner there in 13. He's got the run, but he just doesn't have the power.
And for the second week in a row, it comes to the line like that. And boy, by the thinnest of margins. And that, folks, is round 2 here from Circuit Zandvoort here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We're going to take a quick break. Oh, sorry, we're taking another run at the replay here. I didn't have my eyes in the right spot. All right, now we're out of the replay, and I can take us comfortably to break here from Circuit Zandvoort on the Global SimRacing Channel here in the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be back with the results as driver interviews in just a moment. Welcome back here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. The Precision Racing League wraps up another great race here in the Formula 3. Anybody missed that radical yet? Ooh, I don't think so through 2 rounds, but here's the way it all shook out tonight. Michael Overbay, your big winner. Jose Malbrin. Boy, I'll tell you what, he didn't finish second because he didn't fight hard. It was as hard as it gets there at the end. Francisco Montini going to finish 3rd. Jefferson Padavani, our friend Glitterpants, going to finish 4th. Kevin Santana in the 666. He'll finish 5th. Takeshi Kita with a great run this evening. Needed one, got one. Happy for him. 6th place, 7th place going to go to Nicholas Delp. Owen McLaughlin. Boy, I'll tell you what, we talked about him a few times today. He had a great race. He'll finish 8th. Andy Spicer gets into the top 10. He'll finish 9th. And 10th, going to go to Daniel Zegers. Good result out of him. John?
Yeah, coming in 11th, it's Lyndon Swabby. And then we have Jerome Bartholomew coming in 12th. Paul Wildridge coming in 13th. 44 car of Marco Oliveira coming in 14th. In the 009, it's David Cristelli coming in 15th. In 16th, it's Danny Duchesne. 17th, we've got Andrew Wood. Andrew had a good night tonight. In 18th, we have Joe Walker. 19th, Charles Sumner. And rounding out the top 20, we have Jay Steffi. Sean?
All right, 21st tonight, going to go to Phil Gilman. David Barnett will finish 22nd. Aaron Webb at a number 85 will finish 23rd. 24th, going to go to Chris Richards. It was a tough one for him. He got involved in an incident, didn't make it back out on track. Craig Holden will finish 25th. 26th to Eric Luke. Of course, he involved early in this race and wheeled it around for a while, but then thought better of it and got off the track. 27th for Mike Richter. Curlin Andrew, 28th. 29th to Federico Montini. Christian Gritzko. Boy, tough night for Christian there, man. It ended early. That'll be a 30th place run for him. And then, John, just a few other cars in the field. We'll look at them real quick here. We had 31st, second place. 31st for David Hebert. Mark File going to come in 32nd. It's time to talk to our winner. And friend Michael Overbay, the Club Ohio driver. Buddy, that was a heck of a run tonight. How you feeling right now?
Oh, that was great. That was intense. What a great race. Everybody was just so close that race, and a couple people had little screw ups and allowed Jose and Francisco and myself to have a battle out there. That was unbelievable.
Now, were you letting Jose get close there at the end? What was that all about?
I was managing the gap a little bit. I kind of wanted us to go across the line a little close. That was fun.
Boy, it certainly was. It's a great day for geodesic here tonight at Circuit Zandvoort. I'm going to assume you guys put a little practice in, obviously. Figured some things out about this track?
Yeah, I finally did. Jefferson and I put a little practice. Jose is new to the team here. But he did put a lot of practice, he said, on his own too. So he's up to speed pretty quick. And yeah, we just had a really good race with all three of us, really. This Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing, sponsored by GoPro. F3 car was good today.
Boy, and you mentioned Jefferson. I got to be honest, we were a little concerned about him in practice. Glitter Pants didn't look like he was having any fun in practice.
Yeah, we were making fun of him too, because but then I told Jose, it's like, don't worry, come game time, he'll be there. And sure enough, puts it on pole.
Yeah, and then he put it on the pole. Listen, a lot of fun watching you get the win here tonight in the Formula 3. Your early impressions of the car?
Oh, this is absolutely my favorite car on the Soul Service. So it's just a dream to drive. It's just so much fun because you can set it up in so many different ways. I think Jefferson was even running one of the different sets that I had done versus the one I was running, and we still had the same time. So that's what I love about this car. You can set them up different, drive them different, and still come out the same in the end. It's good for the rest of the season, I think.
All right. Well, we are definitely looking forward to the rest of the season. Congratulations again, Mike, and we'll see you next week, buddy. No, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy July 4th up there in Ohio.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a great one. You guys do a great job. So congratulations to you on the broadcast, too. Thank you, guys.
All right, John, that's Michael Overbay, and you have caught up with Jose Malbrin, the new team member there to Michael Overbay.
Yeah, Sean. Jose Malbrin coming in second tonight, fighting with his teammate those last 3 laps. Jose, first of all, congratulations on a second place finish. How do you feel, sir?
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much. I feel great. First of all, I wanna congratulate Michael and everybody else on the podium, and thank Geodesic Racing. That was a good run. That was intense.
Jose, walk us through those last 3 laps, because we had the camera on you guys the last 3 or 4 laps. You seem to be very strong in 10 coming into the Audi S's, and even a point there in turn 3. But it looks like you made a mistake with 1 lap to go. You went out into the, well, we call it the sand trap in between 12 and 13. Kind of walk us through those laps there.
Well, it definitely is a trap. But those last laps were more about, I could see that Michael was going to run into traffic, and getting through traffic, we're kind of like on this like speed train where he couldn't make a mistake and I couldn't make a mistake because it would have been catastrophic. The idea at the end of the day was to get points for the team. And I'm new to the team, so I'm very thankful to be here. And I thought I had him at the end, but I didn't want to do anything. It's like you can't make mistakes on this track because we could crash, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was happy with P2 and a well-deserved P1 for Overbay.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to crash, and we still had an excellent finish. Jose, do you want to give thanks to anybody?
Again, I just want to thank Alpine Stein's Geodesic Racing. I want to thank also my teammates that helped me out through practice, a little bit on the setup, and it's a good day for everybody.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your second place finisher, Jose Malbrand. Congratulations, Jose, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, Johnny, we got through our first broadcast together, and I didn't get hit over the head with a Tonka truck or whacked in the head with a sled. So I think I'm feeling pretty good about that. What about you?
You know, I feel good. I'm waiting for our director here, Joe, to turn on the Christopher Cross music for you and I. But no, I again appreciate to the Global Sim Racing Channel for bringing me on board to get to do something I know my brother is passionate about and good at too, Sean. And so I enjoyed myself, and thanks to everyone in the control booth and everyone here at the PRL.
Okay, and we especially want to thank Apex Button Box, the official sponsor of this series. Folks, you can find them on Facebook. That's the best place to get them. Just type in Apex Button Box, go over there and find them. Check out the many different button boxes they have available for you, man. You can get one. You can add a whole nother dimension to your iRacing experience by having one of those Apex button boxes. Go get one today. We want to thank the companies that provide the software and our hardware for these broadcasts listed on your screen now. These broadcasts don't happen without them, so big thanks to them. Additional thanks, of course, always to June Lalonde, who provides us with the wonderful music that we hear every race broadcast. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. I want to thank the team today. My brother John Ambrose, our good friend Joe Pete, sitting back there twisting and tweaking the dials, and of course, the guru of all that is cameras and iRacing, Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or you can check us out on social media. Listen, we're all over social media. We want you with us. Go to Twitter, become a follower at GSR Channel. Go to Facebook. If you're not watching us there now, we broadcast over there to Global Sim Racing Channel. Just one word, put that in. We're on the gram. Yes, IG at GSRC_gram. And folks, the next race, we talked about it a little bit. We're going to Canada. We're getting off the European continent and heading to Canada. We'll be at Mosport in a couple of weeks because next Thursday is July 4th here in America. Well, us Americans, we're going to be celebrating that. So we'll see you on July 11th, 9 o'clock Eastern time. It should be me and my brother John, unless you guys didn't like any of that, and so we won't come back. But pay attention to the upcoming races and the other series listed on your screen. Check those out, mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.